I went out of town for my best friend's wedding, in which I was a bridesmaid. I didn't take my boyfriend at the time as per request of the bride. It is her day, and considering my BF and I were on the outs at the time, I was not opposed to this. He's an ADD kid and didn't get his meds refilled before I left town for 4 days. This is his meltdown. Started off okay. We would text back and forth, but I wouldn't be able to reply as fast because I'm helping with a wedding. He overdosed on Valium and told me he was wandering around outside. Then doesn't answer his phone for 6 hours, in which I'm panicking cause I'm a 6-hour drive away from my home, and if he's wandered off in his fucked up state or not. I break down. My best friend's stepdad, an ex-cop, sits with me and lets me know some options on what I can do from far away. Eventually, I sent my apartment manager over to see if he had left T house or not. Apparently, he had fallen asleep cause he took so many drugs. The actual day of the ceremony, he flips out again because I don't have time to talk to him at all. Tensions are high for the wedding party, as we are pushing to get the ceremony on its way. I leave my phone in my bag while I help the bride and groom. Come back to no less than 10 voicemails and 30 texts, half of it incoherent and physio-style typing. This continues the whole weekend. I stop responding. Come home to find my blinds torn, DVD player smash, cooking oil spilled all over my kitchen floor that he made me clean up because apparently it was my fault he knocked it over. While I wasn't even in town, and my entire nail polish collection, over 50 colors, destroyed. I'm still finding cracked bottles. It's amazing how I haven't died from all those. Fumes, red-colored Kool-Aid splash everywhere. Even inside kitchen drawers. I don't even know how that happened. He didn't apologize for any of it. His only words were, "You made me do it. If you hadn't ignored me, this would have never happened." Met Nieklian. We are no longer together, of course. But this is just one episode of many. This man will be 30 next month. I pity his next girlfriend. Met Nieklian.
I have a few stories that might be relevant. Then I'll tell if this gets popular enough, but here's one story that might not be relevant, but is memorable. It was my 18th birthday, and as a newly minted adult, I was enjoying my grown-upness by getting as drunk as I could. I'm with my friends in this pub in town, and we're gathered round a table. There's maybe 6 of us. A couple of tables over, there's a group of girls, and there's maybe 6 of them. One of them catches my eye when I look over, and she's stunning. Long red hair, bright blue eyes, full pink lips. I look away and carry on drinking, but she keeps catching my eye again and again. We do that thing where you both catch each other looking, then pretend you weren't looking at all whilst doing it even more. Eventually I need another drink. So I get up and head to the bar, and I notice her doing the same. At this point, I notice her body. She's short, but with a great figure. Breasts that are good and round and big, small waist, wide hips. Great bum, everything. I'm pretty much fully in lust with this girl. And we've not even met. We get to the bar, and I let her order before me. She gets something like a lemonade, unusual for that pub. But I figure someone's got to be the designated driver, and it's probably her. I order a pint for myself, turn round to head back. And she's there, right behind me. We get to chatting, and she tells me her name's Helena. I make some kind of Shakespeare joke, she laughs, and I'm in. The rest of the night, I talk mostly to her, though it's cool, because the other lads have descended on the group of girls at the other table. The evening wears on, and eventually we get to the well. Are we going to fuck, or just agree to meet each other again? Or fuck off and pretend this never happened stage? We go for the former. We go back to my place, being very careful not to wake my parents up because I'm still shit and live at home. And have a great night. Long story short, we ended up going out for a while. Always meeting out somewhere, then heading back to mine. Eventually we drift into actually being a couple. And from there we start to do more couple-y things. And that's when the crazy leaks in. She starts arguing with me about every little thing imaginable. From not saying hello in the right way, to not being there to wake her up at precisely 6 hours 1 minute and 9 seconds in the morning, or whatever. Every argument escalates into whatever the fuck she's decided to rant about, and always ends the same way. She threatens to dump me. I coax her back, we kiss, fuck, everyone's happy. After maybe a month and a half of this or so, I get bored of it all. I do the decent thing and take her out for coffee to a cozy little cafe. Tell her in the best way I can that we're not working out. And it's all pretty surprisingly amicable. Except it's not. The phone calls start. Always from a private number, always of crying. At first, to my mobile, then to my home phone. Always a private number, always crying. I know she's faking it, because if I never answered the phone, my parents would have a friendly little chat, then hand the phone to me. And immediately it's like Niagara Fall of fucking tears. Then the emails. Weird. Ranty emails of gibberish and threats and pleading to take me back. Hundreds of them. There'd be days when they'd come every 5 minutes. Days when there'd be nothing at all. I changed my number to get rid of her, got a whole new mobile number, and we went ex-directory with our number. Changed my email, too. I still got them for about 6 months after. But eventually they stopped, and that should have been the end of it. Little did I know. I started going online, on various forums, games, etc. On one such forum, I struck up a friendship with a girl on there. I know she was a girl because she shown me pictures of herself with little scribbled hiofabim random username and whatever, which is pretty conclusive. As evidence goes, we had a great time chatting and whatever. And we had so much in common, it was completely insane. Like, not only did she like the same things I did, but she was this utterly stunning little brunette like a proper English rose. Anyway, eventually we started going out, having little Skype chats, though she never went on cam. Which I was cool with because I looked like shit a lot of the time. Things started out well. But over time, she got a bit too clingy for my liking. She'd ask where I'd been if I was a minute late. Or got jealous if she'd seen a picture of me on Facebook with another girl. She got upset at the slightest thing. Or angry if I mentioned another girl's name, even if it was Louise said she liked my work. When Louise was the lecturer for my course. Eventually I got pissed off, dumped her. And we had a nice clean break. I avoided those forums, changed my Skype because, remember, I'd had bad times with my previous ex and communication stuff, and that was that. Not learning my lesson at all. I went on different forums, found another girl, and got to know her too. This one was a tan blonde. All boobs and legs and sexy as fuck Australian accent. She liked most of the same things I did. With enough difference that we could teach each other how to do things, how to appreciate things, how to like things. She was laid back, too, and compared to the latest ex, she was a breath of fresh air. If I got on Skype half an hour later than I'd said I would, she was cool with it. If I spent a conversation talking about my lecture, using her name every dozen words, she'd bitch along with me, making me laugh, making me smile, making me love. Eventually, I talked of meeting her, though it was a long way from England to Sydney. And expensive as anything, I was willing to fly to meet her. Because I wanted to see her face to face. To see the places she'd told me about, to go to the clubs and bars and restaurants she told me she loved. I wanted to hold her in my arms and kiss her. And actually have a proper girlfriend again. She immediately broke up with me, saying I'd only be disappointed with the reality. Then came the latest girl. She was Canadian, brunette, something of a rock chick. Completely different to my usual kind of girl. We met on some chat site I used when I was bored, got talking, swapped details, etc. She introduced me to a ton of music I'd never even considered listening to, and I did the same for her. If I complained about something, she told me to man the fuck up. If I turned up late, she told me it was fine because time is something the man makes us believe in. She was the coolest fucking girl I'd ever known. Again we dated on Skype and whatever, again we talked about meeting, again she broke up with me, saying that it had all just been in fun or whatever. It was cool. It was amicable, and fine, and that was that. All this happened over a couple of years, with me being with each girl anywhere between 4 and 6 months. And my between times being maybe 1 to 3 months. I was a quick worker, and fuck the rebound shit. Anyway, I came back to my hometown for the holiday, I think it was reading week, or something. And fuck being on campus then. I was wandering along the road. When who should I see but Psycho Girl? Rather than avoiding her, I carried on walking. She came up to me, said she had something to tell me, and we needed to talk, desperately. I made all kinds of excuses, but each one she batted aside until she wore me down. We went to the park, and she told me something that basically terrified me. She hadn't wanted to give up on me, so she'd used what she knew of me to find places I'd go online. She'd made different accounts, lots of different accounts, in the hopes that she'd find me, so she could talk to me, and try and win me back. Except she'd made fake accounts, so I would immediately ignore her. See where this is going? Yeah. Every one of the girls I dated had been her. Using pictures of friends, using fake accents, pretending to not know things she knew. She followed me across at least a dozen different websites, stalked me across hundreds of posts and threads, and all the time had made me believe I was talking to completely different people. I didn't date anyone for a couple of years after that. I don't know what came of her after that. She sort of disappeared from my life, and I haven't seen her since. I went out briefly with a couple of other girls, but only ones I'd met face to face, who didn't look anything like her at all. I don't know if she still follows me about online or if she does, if she knows about this account. But if you're looking at this, hi Helena.